Hello guys, you are welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'll be showing you guys how I made this beautiful flared dress with a rolled collar. It's very easy to make and is beginners friendly, but today we are concentrating mainly on the roll collar. So if this is what you would like to learn, please stay tuned to the end of the video. And if you are here to subscribe to my channel, hit on the red subscribe button below to subscribe, and also hit the bell notification so that you'll be informed immediately I upload a new video. So guys, let's get right into the video. So guys, I'm using this beautiful African print, and this is 4 years, but I'm not going to use all the 4 years because I don't want the flare to be full. I'm not making a full flare. As you can see on the thumbnail, you can see that the dress is not that full, so I'm not going to use all the 4 years. And I'm using this black satin for the collar. This is for the roll collar, but you can use the same fabric for the roll collar if you want. So let's get into the cutting. So guys, I place the fabric on a fold because I don't want a full flare dress, as I said before. So I folded it on a slant way like so on the yardage. You see, I slant it on the yardage, as you can see. So now we are going to go with the measurements. So these are the measurements. You need your bust divided by 4. My bust is 43, so I'll divide it by 4. The shoulder is 16 inches, I'll divide it by 2. And the chest line is 9 inches. How I got this 9 inches? You divide your bust measurements by 6 and add 1.5 inch to it. So the full length I'm working is 40 plus 2 inches sewing allowance, so it's 42. But in all, I will change it to 40 because I don't want it too long. So make sure that your fold is okay with your measurements. So you check if it's okay with, you use the highest part of your body, that is the hip. The hip measure, my hip is 44. Sorry, I didn't write it on the paper. The hip is 44. So you are going to add some inches for ease. So you check if your measurement is okay. So the first thing to do is for me to mark the shoulder line. So I mark the shoulder line. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the front piece, and I'll use the front to cut the back, because this flare dress is not going to have zipper at the back. So what I'm doing is, the front and the back is going to be the same. The only difference is the neckline. The front neckline is going to be higher and it's going to be a round neck, but the back is going to be a V neckline. This is the shoulder line. I mark the shoulder line. The next thing to do is to take the neckline for the front. Mark 3.5 inches by 4 inches. 3.5 inches for the neck width, and then 4 inches for the neck depth. That's for the front. Because the fabric is white, I don't want this chalk to spoil it. I'm now marking half of my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 16 inches, divided by 2 is 8 inches. But because it's a sleeveless top, I'm deducting half an inch from the shoulder and I'm making it 7.5. So I'm marking 7.5 instead of 8 inches because I want the finishing to be 7 inches, and I'm using the half for the stitching allowance. On the shoulder line, I'll come down 1 inch for the shoulder slope. Now I'm going to mark my armhole depth. My armhole depth is 9 inches, but because it's sleeveless, I'll minus 1 inch, so I'll make it 8 inches. And I'm going to draw a straight line to meet the 8 inches from the shoulder slope. So on this chest line, I'll mark quarter of my bust measurement. My bust is 43 divided by 4 is going to be 10.75. 10.75. So I will just approximately to 11 inches. I'm going to add 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for the sewing allowance. So 2 inches I'm adding. So the next thing to do is to take the length of the dress, and I'm taking 40 inches. You place your tape on the shoulder line and then you mark your 40 inches. So I'm going to mark from the shoulder line, I'm going to mark the 40 inches all across and connect the points. So guys, this is it. I've marked the 40 inches all around. So the next thing to do is to connect from the bust line all the way to the end of the 40 inches. So this is it. So the next thing to do is to create the armhole curve. To create the armhole, you find the midpoint of this line, which is 8 inches. Half of it is 4 inches. So I'll mark half. So this 4 inches. For this front bodice, I'll come in by half an inch. Half an inch like this. And then connect it from the shoulder slope to the half an inch point here and connect it to the bust line. So this is the front armhole. Now for the back armhole, you are going to connect from this middle point here to meet the armhole. So this is the back armhole and this is the front armhole. Now it's ready to cut. It's just simple, as I said. So before cutting it, I'm adding half an inch on the shoulder line for the joining allowance. So I added the half an inch now, as you can see. So the next thing is to cut it out. So this is it. Before dipping the front armhole, I'll use this to cut the back. So this is the back neckline. So I'm going to cut it out. So let me open it for you to see how the back V-neck look like. You see how beautiful it look? You can either make it deeper or you can bring it up a bit, depending on how long you want it. So this is the front bodice. I dipping the armhole for the front. Let me open it up for you to see how the neckline look like. This is how the front bodice look like. Now is to start sewing. So to start sewing, I'm going to be joining the shoulders first, because you have to join the shoulders before you can measure for the rolled collar. So I'm going to join the shoulders by facing the good sides of the front and the back together. So I'm going to pin it down for you to understand it. So this is it. We are going to stitch the shoulder with half an inch and stitch also here with half an inch. And then the next thing to do is to join the sides with 1 inch. Then I'll go ahead and hem the down part with 1 inch and hem the down part all around. And then I cut strips of bias. I use the same fabric to cut the bias for the armhole. I'm going to use the bias for the armhole to lock the armholes. So I cut 2 for the 2 armholes. So after I iron it neatly and come and show you how it looks, then we'll go straight to cutting of the rolled collar. So let me do that and come back for our next step. So guys, this is it. I'm done with the dress. You see how beautiful it looks, the flare parts, and then you see the neck. I decided to give it a breast dart, just a small breast dart, because you know my front is full. And this is the back, and I did some alterations to the back. I deepened it with 2.5 inches, because if you see the picture on the thumbnail, you see that the back is very open, but I don't want mine to be that open, so I went down from the chest line. I went down 2.5 inches. So the chest line was, I used 8 inches, that's 10.5 inches deep. So this is it. So the next thing we are going to do now is to cut the collar. And to do that, you take your tape, you measure around all the neckline, like so. I start by folding the neckline into two. That's how you get your accurate measurement. You can see that I fold the neckline into two like this. You make sure that it's aligned. So I'm notching the center back like so. So I'll take my tape and measure the center front, and not the center front. So I'll measure from the center front all the way to the back. So this is the neckline folded into two. You can see that. So you take your tape, you just don't measure it like this, you put your tape down like this, you not get the accurate measurement you want. So you hold the tape and you make the tape to stand. You make the tape to stand like this. Then you measure from the center front with the notch all the way to the center back. You measure, make sure that you measure it about 2-3 times to get the accurate measurements. And this is going to be the where you are going to fix the roll collar, the rolled collar. So this is it. I got 20.2 here, that's 14.5. So you go back again and re-measure it. You see how I put the tape. You put it to stand. Then you measure it all around. You see I folded the neckline into two. So whatever you have on this half part, you times it by 2. So by so doing, I got 20.2. That is 40.5. So let's get the fabric and cut. I'm using this black satin, which is 1 meter. 1 meter is a bit more than a yard. The yard is 36 inches, but the 1 meter is 40 inches. So I got 1 meter, which is going to be for the roll collar. So what I'm going to do now is to use the pattern paper to show you how to cut the collar and then transfer it on the fabric. So let's do that. So this is my pattern paper. What I'm going to do now is what I got around the neckline is 40.5 divided by 2 is 20.2. So this pattern paper, this side is on fold and this side is also on fold. So I'm going to take half of the around neck line measurement, which is 20.2. I'm going to make it 20 and a half because of the stitching allowance. So half of the around neckline measurements now is 20.5. So I mark 20.5 here. The next thing to do is to take the height of the collar. So now I'm taking 6 inches for the height of the collar, because you can see on the thumbnail that the collar is very big. 6 inches, and I add half an inch for the stitching allowance, so it's 6.5. I'm taking 6.5 for the height of the collar, so I'm going to mark 6.5. So this is it. So this is the folded part. This you cut it on fold on the fabric, and this side is on fold, and this side is the one you stitch around the neckline, this outside. So now we got the half of the around neckline measurement. So what we are needing next is the extension of the collar. So you can extend it as long as you will. You can extend it by 3 inches, 2 inches, 1 inch. It depends on how big you want your collar to be, but according to the style I'm recreating, I'm going to mark 4 inches for the collar plus half an inch for the sewing allowance, so it's 4.5. The extension of the collar is 4.5 inches. 4 inches for the extension, and then half inch for the sewing allowance. Then I'm going to connect it like so. You can see that our collar is ready. So I'm going to cut it now, and then fold the fabric and show you how to cut it on the fabric. So you fold your fabric on bias. You fold it on bias like so. That's in the form of triangle, like this. Now this collar we are making is a big collar, so you will measure it after folding it on bias like so. You fold it on the wrong side. The good side is the one inside, this is the wrong side. So you fold it on bias like this, and then you go ahead and fold it again like this. So you fold it into 4 on bias, because when you cut it on bias, it's because it's a roll collar. Cutting it on bias allows the collar to roll well on the dress. So I'll measure it to get, yeah, it's enough. So what I'll do now is to iron it a bit so that it can lay flat. So this is it. I pin it, the pattern on the fabric. You know, I folded it into 2 on bias, and I folded it again to 4, and I place the pattern on it. This place is on fold, as you can see. This side also is on fold. This is the open side that will enter the neckline. So let me cut it out. So I've cut it out. Now I'll remove all the pins for you to see how the collar looks like. So this is it. This is our collar. So we are going to stitch here with half an inch like so, and then you come this side and stitch also with half an inch. But before doing that, I want to iron interfacing. You can iron interfacing anything you want inside, because this fabric is too light. This satin I got is too light. but if you prefer it without adding interfacing, it's okay. I'm adding this light interfacing, this light one, that's how the shiny part. I'm just adding it on one side, not in all. So this is how it looks. So I iron it on the wrong side. You see? So after ironing the interfacing, I'll stitch both sides and then come back and show you. So you can see the color now. This is how it looks. You see the interfacing. I iron the soft interfacing on it. So what I'm going to do now is to pin it on the neckline. So to do that, you will take your dress, then you mark the center of the front as I did before. So you start it from the front. You also notch the center of the collar. So where the sticker is have to be towards the wrong side. So we are going to pin them together like so. The collar facing the wrong side of the neckline. You pin one side all the way to the end of the V neckline at the back, and then after you pin the other side to the back. So I'm done pinning the collar on the neckline. So what I'm going to do now is to take it to my machine and then stitch it. After stitching, I'll come back and show you. So this is how the back looks. It's looking very elegant, very beautiful dress. Hope you try it and send me pictures. So next, let me show you how the front look like. So this is how the front neckline look like. You see how beautiful it looks. So it rolled nicely. If you want it to roll more, you can use more material. If you want it smaller than this, you can use less fabric. So this is how it looks. So this is the end of the video. If you find it helpful, like, subscribe, share, and leave comments. So thank you for watching. Don't miss out on my next video. Bye.